Hey guys, so today I filmed a tutorial on this look. This has been my go-to look for winter. I wore it so much this month and we're about to get into spring, so you'll see more spring makeup tutorials after this, but I just wanted to end off winter with my go-to look. You guys told me that you really liked this, which was really sweet because it's a very simple, natural look, so I went with a full face tutorial since it's not a complicated look. So I hope that you all enjoyed this. The whole idea around this look was that I wanted to have flawless skin, bold brows, nude eyes, flushed cheeks, and burgundy lips. So I'm absolutely in love with this. I love all the products. I will have them listed down below as well as the brushes. I hope you all enjoy. If you want to see how to get this look, then just keep watching. Alright, so the first thing we're going to do is prime. I've got my Shine Killer and my Pore Filler, both from NYX. I do like both of these primers. I think the Pore Filler is really excellent. So I'm just going to take this on my oily areas. This is a Shine Killer first. And that for me is my temples get super oily, which is weird. I feel like I've never heard anybody else say that. Then the middle of my forehead, the sides of my nose is where I get the most oily. And then I get a little bit oily on my jawline, which again I feel like is weird, but hopefully this will help it. So just take this on my jaw. So now taking the Pore Filler, my pores are really just on my nose and right here on the sides of my nose. So, and this is similar looking to the Benefit Professional because it does have a slight tint to it, but of course when you put it on, it blends into your skin. So I just take this and press it into my skin. Like this. And then I smooth over it. So now moving on to foundation, I have my Estee Lauder Double Wear in 1W1 Bone, a great matte full coverage foundation. So I'm going to be rocking this, and I don't have a problem with it not having a pump. Like, I just apply all my foundations like this and it works out fine for me. I don't really care about having a pump. I think you can pick MAC. I think you can put MAC pumps in here, or NARS pumps, something like that. So if you really are a pump kind of girl. I know this looks like a lot, but it doesn't show on camera very much. But I have a ton of redness and blemishes, so I personally don't feel comfortable unless I've got full coverage foundation on. So then I'm taking my Real Techniques Expert Face Brush and my MAC Fix Plus, just spritzing it one time, and then tapping off some of the excess into a washcloth, and then just blending my foundation. I feel like the Fix Plus actually helps blend it much better. So then I just pat it into my skin to get the most full coverage. And this is a really nice dense brush. This is much more dense in my opinion than their buffing brush. So this is like my favorite brush for foundation. And I even washed all my brushes last night for you guys, so you won't have to see all dirty brushes. So next I'm going to take my Maybelline Dream Mousse Concealer in Fair to conceal my eyelids. This is discontinued. It's been discontinued for a long time, but this has lasted me forever. And I just use this to cover up the veins on my eyelids. I think it does a really nice job. You can obviously just use concealer, which is probably what I'll do once I run out of this, but I really want to use this up. So next for my concealer, I'm taking the MAC ProLongwear Concealer in NC15. I use this on my under eyes and my blemishes. I was using the NYX concealer, but I ran out of that really quickly, so that will be in my next empties, but I'm just taking a pump on my finger, and it does pump out a little bit too much, but since I use it for blemishes and under eyes, it ends up being the good amount for me, depending on how many blemishes I have that day, of course. Just put it in a upside down triangle under my eye, make sure to get the inner corner because that's where I have the most darkness. So then I blend that all out with my Real Techniques complexion sponge. I use the pointed end for my blemishes and the flat side for under my eyes. And with this concealer, you don't want to let it set for too long because it will stay right where you put it and it'll be hard to blend. So just keep that in mind. Alright, so now moving on to the under eyes, just taking the flat side, which I really love for blending in my under eye concealer. Get right into this inner corner here. Alright, now we've done that. Alright, so now I'm going to set my under eye concealer. I've got the Wet n Wild Fergie Mattifying Take on the Day powder and my Real Techniques setting brush. I love this combination. This is a really great brush to set your under eyes. And I take some on my lids too to set that concealer. Just setting that. And this is very similar to the NARS translucent crystal light reflecting powder, but this one didn't really have much of like a layer. I just took a brush and rubbed over it once, and then that filmy layer was off. So if you've been interested in the NARS pressed version of that powder, try this. It's cheaper and I think it will work just the same. So then I also go over that with my MAC shaping powder and emphasize, and again that Real Techniques brush. I don't use it on its own exactly because it can be a little bit too bright, but of course that would depend on your concealer color and how much you apply. But so now I'm going to set my face makeup. I have the NYX Stay Matte But Not Flat Powder Foundation in the color Nude and my e.l.f. powder brush. This is so great for really packing powder into your skin, so that's what I'm going to do. I like to pat my powder instead of swirl it because I want it to set the foundation and not really disturb it. So just packing it like this, and I'm only getting just like a little amount on my brush because this will give you coverage as well, which is I love, because you guys know I like full coverage. And then I actually have been taking this Sigma E40 taper blending brush, taking a little extra powder, going around my eyebrows because for some reason this area gets really oily, and then around my nose as well. So now for bronzer I'm using Benefit Hoola, looks like this, and then my e.l.f. stippling brush. This is my favorite way to apply bronzer. I think this is just really makes it look airbrushed, so I love that. Then I take it on just the outside of my forehead. I don't want that to look too intense because it will be very unnatural. Just under my cheekbones. Again, up on the forehead. And I am kind of blending it as close to my hairline as possible. And just taking a little bit down my neck and on my jaw. Not too much because this foundation does match me very well. So now to contour, I'm taking my NYX blush in Taupe and the Sigma F05 small contour brush and just gonna go to town. And I only contour the my cheekbones. So there is that. I will blend it out. I know that was a little intense looking. So now moving on to blush, we have theBalm Down Boy, which is just a matte pink, and then my Sigma F15 Duo Fiber blush brush to apply this. And I just apply it right over top of where I put that contour. And I'll blend a little bit on the outside of my apples, just to give me a nice flushed look. So for highlighter, I'm taking the MAC Extra Dimension Skin Finish in Superb and my e.l.f. blush brush and just hitting the tops of my cheekbones with this. Then I'm just going to take my e.l.f. Complexion Brush and blend out those cheek products. I also sometimes use my e.l.f. stippling brush for this. It just depends. But this is a clean brush with no product on it, so I'm using this to blend. So that is the completed face makeup, but now we're gonna go-to eyebrows. So now moving on to brows, the first thing I'm going to do is just comb them out. Like so. Then I'm taking my NYX Eyebrow Shaper wax pencil that I always use and just running it over my eyebrows. Then I'm just taking a eyebrow eyelash comb and making sure that that gel went on evenly. Then I'm taking my Anastasia Brow Wiz in Ash Blonde, and I'm going to use this to fill in the front, underline, and fill in the tail. That's my way of keeping this living for longer than 2 months. So now we're just underlining and filling in the tail. You can see my tail is almost non-existent, so I definitely have to fill that in so my brows don't look crazy uneven and whatnot. And then really fill in the front. So that's the difference between the two. And then I take the other side of this pencil, take that spoolie and run through that. Then the other side. Then just squaring off the front. I just love the way that squared eyebrows look. Then again, taking that spoolie and just blending this product out a little bit. Now I'm taking the Anastasia Brow Powder in Taupe and the little brush that came with it. I'm going to take the lighter part to fill in from the front to the arch, and then I'm going to take the darker part from the arch to the tail. Just setting that pencil and filling in the rest of it. So I'm going to clean up my eyebrows a little bit. I'm taking the NYX Wonder Pencil in Light just to shape my brow. I just go all the way underneath the bottom and then just from the arch to the tail on the top. And I blend that in with the Real Techniques Detailer brush. Then I'm just going to set my brows with the Anastasia Clear Brow Gel. Just run right over my brows. Just lightly so this doesn't get crunchy. And then we're done with the brows. So first I'm going to start with a primer using the e.l.f. Eyelid Primer like always. Just from lash line to brow bone. Blending that in with my finger. Next, I'm taking the Maybelline Color Tattoo in Nude Pink and putting this again from my lash line to brow bone. This was limited edition. MAC Painterly Paint Pot is very similar. Any skin tone eye base will work. And you want it to be matte. So I'm taking the Urban Decay and Naked Basics palette and my MAC 239 flat shader brush. I'm going to take this shade right here, Walk of Shame, and pack that all over my lid. So next I'm going to take this color right here, Naked 2, in my Sigma E45 small taper blending brush and apply this into my crease. Just windshield wiper motions back and forth. And that was really just to add some dimension to my eyes and really define that crease, but a natural definition. So I'm going to take that same brush and this shade Foxy and use that to highlight my brow bone. And that is it for eyeshadow. Now moving on to eyeliner and mascara. I'm just going to use my Rimmel Scandalizer Nude in my waterline. I'm not doing any liner on the top lash line, and then I'm using my Jordana Best Lash Extreme Mascara on my top lashes. The good thing about this mascara is that it's a little bit more dry, so I don't really have to worry about it getting on my lids, because I always get mascara on my lids because my eyelashes are so thin that the mascara wand just goes right through them. So now the final step is our burgundy lip. I'm taking the Revlon Just Bent Kissful Balm Stain and crush the perfect burgundy lip color. And there we go. That is the finished look. Please rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.